So I told my homegirl that I was gonna make a video about this, and I was dead serious. So she had sent something in like our group chat about on Instagram, just about like being a church kid or whatever. But I really feel like people have gotten away from the church, but they really need to go back. And I know that some people experience church hurt, but when I tell you, being a child going to church consistently built so much structure and discipline in me, like it's like no other. So let me say this. I'm gonna tell you about me and my church, and stitch this video if you want to talk about you and your church and how y'all operate it. Okay, so it would be 7:30 in the morning. That's when church service started. When I say I'm an OG kid at my church, I'm an OG kid because we don't even have 2 services anymore. I remember having to get up at the crack of dawn because we stayed 30 minutes from the church, y'all. Well, maybe not 30, but like at least 20, 25. Anyway, I remember having to get up on a Sunday and be at church at 7:30 for first service. This is when my pastor was a little bit younger, and he could preach a sermon for a good hour and a half. Maybe sometimes it felt like 2 hours. I might be tripping, but I'm so serious. And then after that, we would have Sunday school, which would be when my pastor was preaching just to the adults, and then we would have to take attendance in Sunday school and then learn the lesson. I remember this like vividly. This was my routine for years until like COVID. And then I was in the choir. So if it was third Sunday, because that's when our Sunbeam choir sung, we would have to stay now until second service, and we would sing for second service. Only the mass adult choir would sing during first service. The kids would not. Nope, you couldn't. So then you would have to, after Sunday school, you would go in that choir stand and sing for second service, and then you could go home. And me, that would be sometimes, because back then we had this thing so we have a new church building and an old church building. So at the old church building, my dad used to be a part of and over like the youth ministry, and he used to do teen church. So we would leave the new church and go to the old church to hear him do his like mini sermon and mini lesson there, and then you would go home. And let me say something about, well, I'm gonna make a part 2 because I don't want this video to get too long, but I'm going to make a part 2 and talk about how choir anniversary went, because choir anniversary was something different. It's totally different.